Welcome to the Cardinals Squad Show. My name is Benjamin Garcia, host of the Ben Garcia Show and host of Locked On Phoenix Suns. Who is more to blame, the Arizona Cardinals players or coaches? We will discuss.
I'm Jamil Douglas, former NFL offensive lineman. Could a new offensive coordinator be on the way to the Cardinals?
Alex Clancy, Locked On Cardinals. What the hell do we watch on Sunday with the Cardinals season hanging in the balance? Let's get it, shall we?
Rise up, Red Sea. It's the Cardinals Squad. Everything Arizona Cardinals every week. Covering all the big hits and game-changing plays from the Valley of the Sun. The way only the Locked On Podcast Network can. Gear up and squad up. The Cardinals Squad Show starts now.
What is up? Welcome back into the Cardinals Squad Show. However you may be listening, wherever you may be listening, thank you so much for making us three and this show a part of your day. Remember, Locked On Cardinals Squad Show is free and available on all platforms, including YouTube. Click that follow or subscribe button to do what thousands of Cardinals fans have already done. Become it every day and get locked on to the Cardinals Squad Show right here each and every day. Today's episode is brought to you by the fine folks over at FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. The Cardinals have lost clearly to the Seattle Seahawks. Their losing ways somewhat continue after having a little bit of break from that Cowboys stint last Monday. Let's start here. Drew Petzing went to the podium and said some things about the Cardinals offensive line, how it could be better, how it could be worse. We can get to those comments and what it looks like when you admit you either have the problem or don't have a problem, but it does kind of beg the question a little bit. How much of this season is on the players and how much of it is on the coaches? Clancy, I'll let you take your turn first.
I don't know. I mean, here's the thing. Like, it's easy to say both, okay? It's easy to say. You can point a finger at that and explain why. If I'm on two podiums and I'm debating against myself, I can make well-executed arguments for both, okay? The coaches can only do so much, and the players can only do so much in the, in the situation that they're put in with game plan, scheme, coaching, training, etc. Other players around them, injuries, whatever it may be. I struggle with the offensive line specifically, okay? Because it's been a ramp up it's a really slow moving car crash. Like, it wasn't that bad early on. They were playing New Orleans and Carolina, and, now they're playing Green Bay, Seattle, even Dallas. I joke, but like Dante Fowler and Jadeveon Clowney look like all pros against the right side of this offensive line. So the interior offensive line got blown up against Green Bay. The right side got blown up against Dallas, and all of it got blown up against Seattle. I have a hard time believing that regardless of what Justin Fry does, it's not going to be enough. And I don't think Clayton Adams being gone is just an obvious thing where it's like, oh, if he was here, it would be a lot better. They didn't do anything to upgrade it. And Jamil said it before we started, like, if you're staying in the same place, you're behind. So, Jamil, listen, I know that you come from a different spot here. Like, I've been screaming for 15 years out of my big dumb face doing this stuff. I've never stepped foot on an NFL field. I tried out once. I didn't. But it's easy for me to say what I'm saying when we're not talking about a person who played the position for the better part of a decade. Is it unfair to put this predominantly on the players for that specifically?
No, I don't think it's unfair. I think the question of whose fault is it is hard to pin one group exactly. I think it's it's almost an even split in terms of I don't think that the coaching staff, and I'm speaking on the offensive side of the ball because I do think the defense has been has stayed relevant this whole time. But in terms of the offense, I think they didn't do a great job of game planning for Kyler Murray from my point of view. I feel like you don't play to his strengths. Like, I feel like there's, certain things in terms of dropping back a bunch of times and things like that just don't serve his stature well, right? So like we talked about before the season even started, I wanted to see an identity out of the offense that served Kyler Murray, and I thought that would be run, play action, some screens, obviously dialing it up down the field to Marv and Trey McBride was going to be, essential. But I just feel like I could put that blame on the coaching staff, right? Not to say that Kyler Murray's not at fault. Yeah. I do think in terms of like what I said before we started, if you're not getting better, you're getting worse. So not addressing the offensive line and saying that it's the same as last year, to me, means that you didn't get better. And who's at fault for that? It's not the coach. It's not the coaches who's at fault for bringing in talent. It's the front office. And so there's a split here in terms of like, do we want to blame the coaches? Do we want to blame the players? Well, the product that's been put on the field is gathered by, the GM and the scouting department. So we could spread it all different type of ways if we want.
I wonder what the exact fraction would be or percentage would be for players and coaches. I feel like this team is loaded in terms of personnel. So it would be hard to put it any more than 30%. They've got dudes everywhere on this team. I feel like it's been a gross mismanagement at the coaching level. To what Jamil just said, they didn't really develop an offense that would help out Kyler and help him succeed a little bit more. But again, maybe they feel like that's not the way you win in the NFL. I don't know. But I feel like there is a certain arrogance to Jonathan Gannon where last year when the pass rush, everyone, whether watching the Cardinals as much as we do or not, mentioned that this pass rush was not going to be very good last year. And when they weren't artificially bringing the blitz or, different looks to help get those sack numbers up, they couldn't get pressure with just Ford. They asked Jonathan Gannon when B.J. Ojulari went down in preseason, hey, who are you going to go grab to help this out? And they said, we're fine. His exact words were, you think we have a problem. We don't think so. And then it ended up being a problem. Then this year, yeah, I got fooled about the offensive line, but as Clancy said, I'm a big dummy talking about the Cardinals into a microphone. I don't make these decisions. Guys like Clancy were going after this team for the offensive line. And at the end of the day, the offensive line bit him in the ass. That is a bit of a coaching and, front office issue. So it does feel like it's a little bit more on the coaching staff, right?
I don't know.
What's interesting is I've never dealt with when you can't really pinpoint what's wrong with a team because they do have weapons all over the place, right? And I know you've had some injuries, James Conner, and the Kyler situation and things like that. But this team should be winning more games than what they are, they're at least I feel like it's hard to pinpoint. I will say I looked up in terms of most sacks given up in 2025. Jacoby Brissett is right at the middle of the pack in terms of the amount of times he's been sacked. He's at 15. Before under him, and that means obviously getting sacked more, is Jared Goff, Aaron Rodgers, Baker Mayfield, Carson Wentz, Josh Allen. There's a bunch of guys that take hits. Kyler's down there at 24. In terms of, and we know he's missed games. So I don't know if we're looking at it from a standpoint of the last couple of weeks and how the O-line has looked, but they're middle of the pack in terms of sacks. So
well, Jacoby Brissett's only played half the season.
Right, but even Kyler was. So what's the average if we go?
Right, but you look at the offense now, the offense with Kyler, this is the thing that I've struggled with. I mean, the comments have never been darker that I've gotten over the last,
Oh my God, yeah, man.
Here's the thing with the Kyler stuff. For those that have watched for more than 10 minutes, know that I've been on the Kyler side of the aisle ever since he was drafted. Thought he was special. Thought he could really be a guy that could lead with his special to deep places in the playoffs and stuff. When I saw what the offense looked like against Indy, I'm like, oh, I was wrong. It was instant. So when Jacoby Brissett is the quote unquote sitting duck that Byron Murphy said at the end of the game in the press conference with Seattle, it's 80% of starting quarterbacks are sitting ducks, but their offensive line protect them. That's what the dictionary definition of a quarterback is. That's what's always won up until obviously the last 15 years or so. Things have changed a little bit, but it's Jacoby Brissett's the only one who's 32 and is not mobile. What are we doing here, guys? If Kyler gets out of the pocket, look at the targets. I'm going to do numbers. I'll do them before our show. Or I'll do them by the end of the week. the amount of targets that Marv has gotten over the last 3 weeks, I could almost gauge would be more than what he had with Kyler in the first 5 weeks. I would venture to guess that.
I saw that. I mean, I think the people above him is Jamar Chase, and there's one other receiver. Yeah, I think maybe Jackson Smith or something, but he's top 3 in terms of targets in the last 3 weeks.
The last 2 weeks he's gotten at least 10 plus targets.
Yep.
Yeah.
So standing in the pocket, 70% of the throws that Jacoby Brissett makes, Kyler Murray didn't make.
Sure.
He was able to do it outside of the pocket, which Jacoby can't, but it's not cut and dry where it's like, oh, Kyler could do this. The majority of things Jacoby Brissett can do that is excelling this offense and allowing it to move, even though stat-wise, it's not because it's terribly inefficient. They have no run game. They're in 2-minute drill the entire game. But like when they need to score touchdowns, they're scoring touchdowns and they're converting on 3rd and 12 when that was a foreign language, the start of the season.
So let me ask you guys this then. When you see Drew Petzing come out, and a lot of people, let me preface it like this. A lot of fans are really frustrated with how cute the Arizona Cardinals get in pressers. This is not just special to Drew Petzing. Whether it's Jonathan Gannon, the will he, won't he, Jacoby Brissett, Kyler Murray thing, and now Drew Petzing coming out, reporters asking straightforward questions. Do you think the offensive line is worse, better along those lines this year? And he flat out said the offensive line, he sees no drop-off from last year. It's the same exact thing for better for worse. I'll read some statistics to you guys in just a second what Pro Football Focus says. But do you guys think the Cardinals actually believe this? Because if you are a team, it goes back to the players or the coaching thing. Do they really think that the offensive line is the same thing as it was last year and maybe players just aren't executing? Because that's the only reason why you can go up there and just straight up lie to everyone like that. And also, can you fix a problem if you don't just admit you have a problem?
Okay, so first off, they know they have a problem. They know that 80% of what they say is bologna sandwich. I'm going to answer this, and I'm going to have Jamil say if I took the words out of his mouth or not. It's hard to pass pro between 40 and 50 times a game.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's really – because I know Jamil loved to protect on passing plays. He didn't like to protect the run, hated Derrick Henry, all of these things. We talked about it a lot. Pass pro is like these guys, just like defensive players in the fourth quarter, get tired. If you're dropping back and having to protect for 3 to 4 seconds while Jacoby Brissett tries to find somebody open down the field, like you're going to get tired, especially if you're getting beat up all game. So obviously it's not going to look great. Did I take the words out of your mouth?
No, you did. You're 100% right in that sense. I mean, this is why it's so hard. Like, I don't think they're ever going to point the finger, right? They're never going to be like, this is directly the issue with what's going on. I think it's going to be up to us to judge. Is it all on the offensive line? I don't know. I don't know if it's all on the offensive line. I really don't. I know the run game has not been efficient enough to say the Cardinals have a run game. That is not the case. We have seen Jacoby have success in terms of them being able to at least hold up in terms of a pocket to get him the production that's been happening the last month that we've seen him play. So while they're not great, they're not terrible. We've seen worse. Middle of the pack, I don't know, doesn't get it done regardless. And so to say that it's the same as last year to me is saying that you guys haven't gotten better. And so that leaves room for us to speculate that it could be the O-line.
So here's some of the Cardinals offensive line Pro Football Focus ranks. Last year they finished 4th in pass blocking and 14th in run blocking. Right now to this point, what are we, 10 weeks in? They're 25th in pass blocking and 27th in pass blocking.
Wait,
those are damning numbers.
Say it again. They're 20 what?
Sorry, 2020 in 2025, pass blocking they're 25th, run blocking they're 27th, down from 4th in pass blocking and 14th in pass blocking a year ago.
Yeah.
It's starting to feel a little Steve Wilkesy, where our game plan's great. It's the players' fault that they're not succeeding. They need to do better on their own to be able to make this team work. And it just feels like when you are compiling losing games by a lot these days and BSing people at the mic, it just feels like a recipe for disaster. I know we don't care what they actually say, but it is a bit of gaslighting, and it does make me question the incompetency of this front office and the coaching staff.
That's not it. They just don't want to tell us. They just don't want to tell people. It's the Cardinals.
Keep it a secret.
And for mentioning purposes, Tio Mackey tweeted that out, Arizona Sports.
Yes,
so that's the source of that. So we got to give the source for the information we get. So
Tio Mackey did.
First of all, 2018, you can't compare 2018 to this because they scored 14.1 points per game. My favorite stat from that year, 14.1 points per game, which were less points per game than the 2008 Detroit Lions that went 0-16. Okay, that was a historically bad offense led by Mike McCoy and then Byron Leftwich after Mike McCoy got fired when Josh Rosen gave up 5 turnovers on Thursday Night Football against Denver. Like, you can't compare this. They've got good players on this team. Okay, they were a travesty in 2018. So the only thing worse than having a problem is not knowing where the root of the problem is.
That's what I'm saying. It's so hard to pick.
A couple years ago, and now it's just that in like a tuxedo because they're playing better. It's like it's the same issue. And I mean, you can talk about the overlord, but he doesn't what you can't force Michael Bidwell to sell a team. He doesn't give a rip. And this is just where we're at, and this is why our hairlines are receding collectively.
It's so funny to always see. It always just goes back to Michael Bidwell, as it absolutely should. But it's just funny to always hear his name back. Well, it's really Michael Bidwell's fault, but we know he's not going to sell the team, so we have to figure out something else to blame. Brian Dable just got fired. The New York Giants head coach. Could he be the next OC in Arizona? We got someone that's got a direct connection with him on this panel. Hint, it's not Alex Clancy. Let's talk about that next. First, today's episode is brought to you by Rippling. If you're a business owner, here's the truth. SaaS promised to make work easier, but now the average company is buried by hundreds of apps that slow down your teams and simply don't work together. That's not SaaS. That's sad. Software is a disservice. That's why you need Rippling. Rippling is the unified platform for global HR, payroll, IT, and finance, all in one place. They've helped millions of businesses replace a mess of disconnected tools, one system designed to give leaders clarity, speed, and control. By uniting your employees, teams, departments in one system, Rippling removes the bottlenecks, busy work, and silos your software created. Everything from onboarding to payroll to IT access, it runs automatically and perfectly in sync. And right now, you get 6 months free when you go to rippling.com/LockedOnNFL. Learn more at rippling.com/LockedOnNFL. That's rippling.com/LockedOnNFL for 6 months free. Terms and conditions apply. All right, keeping the show rolling. Brian Dable fired as the New York Giants head coach, and it's kind of got some people talking about maybe a potential replacement in Arizona. We can get into, will Drew Petzing get fired? Should he get fired? We've kind of done that already ad nauseum. Jamil, I'll let you start here because you're the one that was in New York for a brief stint with Brian Dable. What is your thoughts on not only Brian Dable as potentially an offensive coordinator, but his fit in Arizona? And does it kind of make sense?
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, right? I think certain coaches are better coordinators than they are head coaches. Why I say that? When you're a head coach, you manage a lot of moving parts. Coordinators simply, I don't want to say simply, but they typically, have to do with the schematics of the game. And there's just certain guys that are better at doing that. To me, Daboll is one of those guys. I think, that's hilarious. I think
that's really funny.
Listen, I believe in coaching trees. I believe in the trees in the NFL in terms of like when you have an extension to certain people, at some point you end up either there's interest there, and obviously Daboll comes from the New England tree. spent time with him in New England as well as Buffalo and the Giants. So I know him. I don't want to say I know him well, but I know the coach Brian Dable well. Monty Ossenfort, New England coaching tree. In terms of there are certain guys out there, I think that Monty Ossenfort is reaching out to for advice, and I think Brian Dable is one of those guys that is well respected from that group. I remember hearing Coach Belichick talk about Brian Dable, and he said that one of the things that's special about him is he could coach any position on the field. He used to coach tight ends. He's been a receiver coach. He's worked his way up, right? And so that leads me to say, if Jacoby is the guy moving forward, there's obviously a great deal of respect between those guys from being from the New England tree. So it's not far-fetched to say that Brian Dable could be have his hand in the hat or whatever you want to call it. I did see someone say, why would Dable want to jump into this sinking ship? This sinking ship is another fast track to being a head coach. I think that you come in as an offensive coordinator, you revamp this offense in another year or so. If JG is not here, then Monty Ossenfort now has his guy that is from a tree that he knows the offense, he knows the defense, he knows the philosophy. And so I think it is a real possibility.
I mean, for an OC or head coach?
OC. I'm saying OC.
Yeah, okay,
I was answering the question as far as why would he want to, if he ever wants to be a head coach again and things are not panning out, then that could be a possibility.
Yeah, unfortunately for the Cardinals, if they were to hire him, like with the Drew Petzing thing, I saw Brian A. write in that. That's going to be one where it's like somebody texts you don't want to talk to again, and you just don't respond. It's one of those at the end of the year. It's like, best of luck, Buckaroo, kind of thing. You know what I mean? It's like his contract's up at the end of the year.
He's going to write Hags in his yearbook.
So with the only thing going against Brian Dable wanting to come here, like, first of all, wide receiver coach, tight end coach, they've got pretty good ones of both of those. Jacoby, as you mentioned, like that's a lot of tie there. The big thing for me is if Sean McDermott gets fired in Buffalo. If he gets fired in Buffalo, that's the obvious return of the king back to Josh Allen. Now, maybe in a head coaching aspect there, the last thing I want to do if I'm Brian Dable is to head coach next year. It's like, I need a break, bro.
Absolutely.
Just let me call the damn offense. Let me have some wings. Let me chill out, and then I'll see what else is going on, because there's going to be great spots opening up every year now. So who knows? Maybe Matt LaFleur's a year away from being fired. Like Zach Taylor.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
It's bonkers. But
it's the NFL. Crazy things happen.
So like this could be
Aliens.
like this could be the reclamation project, Return of the King 1 year with this offense with Marvin Trey. It makes a lot more sense than it doesn't. It's just a matter of
so much sense. It makes so much sense.
It's just a matter of but the other thing is the only other thing, the wrench thrown into here is if they draft a rookie in the second round or something like that, I think it would be a wild mistake. But say they do, it's like, okay, so you're going to develop a guy and then you're going to be gone. And then if this guy starts, then he's got nothing. It's like there's that whole list of quarterbacks who've, their rookie year, their head coach gets fired. It's like there's no quarterback development. So that's the only thing where you don't have a longer lasting answer in OC.
So I'm looking at Wikipedia, which never lies, and I'm lining yeah, me too. And I'm looking up the years because I should have asked Jamil this before the show. Looks like Jamil was in Buffalo in the year 2021, the same time Brian Dable was an offensive coordinator.
Yeah,
and the Buffalo Bills averaged third in points. Trust me, there's a point coming. They averaged third in points in the NFL and fifth most in yards.
Mm-hmm.
How much of that was the schematics of Brian Dable and how much of a genius he is, and how much of it was Josh Allen got him a job?
I mean, I think there's a little bit of both, right? I mean, I told you guys before.
Sure.
I've had a headset on during those games, and I've listened to, him giving Josh Allen the play, and if he doesn't like it, off script play. So there's a little bit of Josh Allen being as great as he is and being Josh Allen, but there's also, I will say, from a offensive schematic standpoint, I think Brian Dable is really good at what he does. I don't know what the dynamic was in New York with him, and I don't want to get into it with Kafka. I don't want to get into that. But what I do know is he loves his tight ends. The Cardinals have a great one.
Yeah.
He loves his receivers. The Cardinals have one that should be as dominant as the rest of them. They have receivers. And and he can mask things. I mean, I know without the Russell Wilson thing, but he can mask things offensively just with how creative he is. Haven't seen that in the past couple of years out of New York, but yeah, I mean, he's a creative offensive coordinator, and he's good at what he does. He masters in the RPO, which I think is a good tool to have. So yeah, I mean, what do you want from me? You know,
he got.
Like, what do I want for you? You're on the team.
They had zero wide receivers for the large portion of the time that he was there. Malik Neighbors has missed half of the time he's been in the NFL, if not more. Saquon Barkley decided to walk across the street to Philly. Cam Scadaboo's leg, didn't look normal on the field after he got hurt. Yeah. They had a rookie quarterback. You had Russell Wilson. You had, whoever the hell else they started over there. It's like, I mean, you're seeing Daniel Jones go somewhere else. I'll bet Brian Dable's like, I could have done that. I just didn't have the tools to be able to do it. The offensive line, Evan Neal and Andrew Thomas. Evan Neal, it looks to be a bust. Andrew Thomas, looked bad and then looked really good, and he's kind of been mid since. The offensive line hasn't been great there. It's just the defense wasn't great. Kayvon Thibodeau doesn't – it's just the Cardinals, he can come over and be a reclamation project here. I didn't think so until we started talking about this. But everything that he didn't have in New York, he has here. And he would just have to run the offense and allow JG and Nick Rallis to do the other side. That's interesting. I'm actually intrigued.
Mm-hmm.
Without me just sitting here and agreeing with you guys, because the Drew Petzing era has been – I mean, let's just leave it at this. It's left a lot to be desired, a lot of meat left on the bone. So what do you guys think at this point they are moving on from Petzing? That's what matters at the end of the day. We might just be talking into the air, into the void. I know we joked that it might be just a, have a great summer in your yearbook from your crush and you never hear from them again. What do you guys think they're trending towards at this point? A move at the OC position? I mean, if they're not going to fire Jonathan Gannon, and Benjamin Albright reported that he's going to be here next year, there's no way they run it back again. Sure, as he should. You could talk me into that.
Yeah.
But there's no way they run it back with the same staff, even if they're scapegoating Petzing at least a little bit.
I don't think – listen, I know we just did a whole segment on possibly having Brian Dable as the offensive coordinator. Drew Petzing will be back next year. He'll be. I think so. I don't think they're going to move off of him. I think it just so happened to work out in his favor, right? Your top running back goes down. You're now going with your number 2 quarterback who has looked relatively good when they've had a chance to be in the game. And so it's the way the cards have fallen for him. I think you've got to be pleased with what he's been able to do. So and
that's speaking unbiasedly.
Yeah, for sure. Well, this is the thing. I just feel like he's had the perfect storm in terms of it. Now, if he had Kyler this whole year and James Conner and, everyone at full strength and the record.
Oh, you mean last year?
Sure. And the record was what it was this year. I don't think he would be coming back because you have to look at what's been on the field. The fact that he hasn't had all of that on the field, you kind of buy yourself another excuse. I'm not saying I agree with it. I think the offense is stale. I think I could probably have a better run game plan and dial it up better. But hey, I'm here. He's there. But I don't agree. I don't think that he should be back, but I think he will be.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's still TBD. And I know that the fire Petzing thing is I understand. Okay, and it's still not fair. I don't like if you want to do the fall guy thing. Oh, right. He just put that. If you want to do the fall guy thing, you say Justin Fry, enjoy Columbus, Ohio again, and you're not ready for the NBA. That's what a fall guy thing would be, because it's a move. And I think, like, I don't know how much of this is just off-script Jacoby and how much of it is the offense. But if you're telling me that the offense doesn't look different over the last couple of weeks, you're lying to yourself and everybody else, and you should be punished. Like, this isn't – and it hasn't been great. Okay, they've still lost games more than they've won. But getting the ball to your best players was a struggle, and now it's not, and it's the same offense. Oh, they didn't scheme around Kyler Murray because he's 5'10".
Yep.
You can only scheme so much, and then the quarterback has to take care of the rest. And he did for a large portion, but sweet mother, the fact that they almost lost to New Orleans and Carolina and lost to Tennessee and we're sleepwalking through the first 3 quarters of the Seattle game, it's like we just forget that happened. Oh, Seattle, they played them tighter in Seattle. Their offense didn't show up off the bus until the 4th quarter. It's like, dude, and this wasn't 3 years ago. That's what pisses me off. It's like Petzing may have been doing a much better job than he's been given credit for because the players haven't been producing.
I wish we had more time because Clancy, the Kyler Murray discourse between all of this has been ridiculous. I hate the term scapegoating has been used more times in the Valley than the word soft benching over the past couple of weeks. Let's move on. The Cardinals do have a game this weekend. They do got a game. I have a feeling Jamil's gonna give us a score prediction and not tell us who's gonna win, while all the same telling us who's going to win.
I'll tell you who's gonna win today.
There's the Arizona Cardinals got the San Francisco 49ers on deck. The last time they played the San Francisco 49ers with a backup quarterback, it did not end well on Monday Night Football in Mexico. Hopefully it's different this time around. We'll talk about that next.
I'm Cody Rourke from Locked On Broncos, and this episode is brought to you by Peloton. Peloton is shaping the future of fitness with the brand new Peloton Cross-Training Tread Plus, powered by Peloton IQ. This is Peloton's most advanced equipment yet, giving you real-time guidance and endless ways to move, whether you're running, lifting, or you're cross-training with your favorite instructors like Alex Toussaint. It's training reimagined to make your workout more personal. Peloton is built for breakthroughs with features that help you plan, stay motivated, and hit peak performance. You can let yourself run, lift, flex, and go while Peloton handles all the rest. Plus, Peloton IQ provides real-time strength coaching, tracking your progress and suggesting weights that challenge you so you can get stronger. Plus, the new movement tracking camera, it counts your reps and corrects your form in real time, making sure every rep is safer and smarter. So let yourself run, lift, flex, push, and go. Explore the new Peloton Cross-Training Tread Plus at onepeloton.com.
So the Arizona Cardinals have a game this weekend on Sunday on the road or at home against the San Francisco 49ers. Some of you might remember that the last time they played the Niners with a backup quarterback, it was like the game where everyone kind of said to themselves, oh yeah, the players gave up. Cliff Kingsbury is on his way out. This was in Mexico. That was the whole, Sean Kugler incident in Mexico. It was just a disaster. So it's kind of funny seeing those two things intertwined between that disaster and this disaster.
Super funny.
Clancy, what?
Super funny. I would constitute it as funny for sure. Super funny. Not sad. Not depressing. Super funny.
It depends if you see your life as a comedy or a horror film. I choose to think comedy. Clancy, before we dive in, what do the Cardinals have to play for this weekend? They're not obviously out of the playoffs. Without using the word playoffs, what do you think they have that you're looking for this? When you're like, all right, I need answers here. Let's figure it out.
I mean, the beauty of this, and I guess the green ribbon of this entire situation is they've got a bunch of young dudes who are going to rip next. They've got a young secondary outside of Budda Baker. They've got young off-ball backers. They've got young pass rushers. They've got this is going to be the sharpening of the iron for the rest of the year going into next season. Because when this defense is healthy, we saw what it was in Dallas. Okay, we saw they gave 10 points on offense. And it's just going to be a matter of determining if Jacoby's the guy moving forward, which is the most important storyline for any team who the quarterback is going to be. And so every game is going to be meaningful. It doesn't matter if they're out. It doesn't matter whatever it is. It doesn't matter if you're jockeying for playoff or for draft pick position at this point. You got to go and ball out. Like, you got to be rooting for Jacoby Brissett, because at least you can see that he's going to be an integral part of this offense next year, unless they swing on some big trade for a quarterback. So there's so many important things that you got to watch.
Yeah. So is the question, what do the Cardinals have to play for? Is that what we're
yeah. What are you playing for this weekend against San Francisco 49ers?
I mean,
is it just pride? Because like I know players don't go, like, you can't half-ass it in the NFL. You will get your, what
guys have livelihoods that they're providing for. I saw someone that said in the comments they think the Cardinals are better off tanking. I've never once said that. I've always said that Jacoby has made this team look more competitive. What the Cardinals have to play for is a lot right now. They're on the verge. They're on the verge of, there's guys that are either going to be here or they aren't. This is a division game. Division games don't get taken lightly. I don't care what the record is. We just watched a Dolphins team who we would think have nothing to play for go against the Bills and hand it to the Bills. And so it's never pack up the luggage and we're thinking about offseason right now. That is not the case, especially where the Cardinals are. I mean, the Niners are 6-4. The Cardinals are 3-6. I know that seems like a long way apart, but if you come out of this 4-6 and you hand the Cardinals you hand the Niners their fifth loss, like, I'm not speaking in terms of playoffs. We're not even in that category, but your season still has not been put to bed yet. So I'm going to say they have a lot to play for. I look for them to still come out and be competitive. I don't think that last week is the product that we're going to see on the field. I think the second half of last week and how they played in that half is what I expect from the Cardinals.
I mean,
there's a lot of sorry, go for it.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, well, there's a lot of different things the Cardinals have to play for this week, but I think the number one thing, and the reason why I bring up that Cliff Kingsbury game years ago, because I distinctly remember watching players walk into the end zone untouched, and you had said to yourself, oh, this is the moment Cliff Kingsbury gets fired because players have stopped trying for him. I'm curious to know if at this point in the season, week 11, players are starting to make business decisions, starting to look around the league and say, listen, I'm probably not going to be in Arizona next year.
No,
we're like putting out a tryout yet. And I
want to know one thing I will say, will say, we cannot say that Jonathan Gannon has lost this team yet.
Exactly.
That is not on the table. They're still playing. I know they got their ass beat last week. They are still playing hard. Defensively, they're playing hard, and offensively, the guys, even if they're getting beat, they're still playing hard. So they're not at that point yet.
To Jamil's point, like, nobody's more embarrassed than those 53 guys. They know, and this is the one. I mean, this is like, it's not, oh, this is the one that's going to save the season. It's going to be, this is the one where you play for you, and you play for the team, and you play for the coach, and you play for all that stuff. There's no world where Jonathan Gannon has lost this locker room, in my opinion. There's no world. Because there's no noise, there's no chirping, there's no little leaks that there used to be, even though I know that it was fabricated from Steve Keim, et cetera. Like, everybody loves everybody outside those lines. So that is something that is painfully obvious, and it just sucks that they're not putting it together between them. But, dude, the only thing that could happen, and, like, if it does go this way, we can revisit the do you move off from somebody. If it happens again at home, then you got to have a different conversation. Like, we can only do and crunch the numbers that we have in front of us. We can't be Clance Stradamus here and just, oh, this is what's going to happen next week. It's not going to happen. So, I don't know.
Oh, as we preview it, I don't know if Brock Purdy's going to play this week. It's actually hilarious. Now, this is funny. The parallels, like I've fought these arguments with my guy Jason McIntyre of the Herd, is like, I think Kyler Murray was a superior quarterback to Brock Purdy, especially at their best. And then it was, no, Brock Purdy's better than Kyler. And now both guys might be soft bench right now for their replacements after both getting paid. That is also that it's like, that's an interesting thing to see right now too. So it's probably going to be backup quarterbacks against each other again this weekend. Like, am I wrong for saying this? I don't actually think the Niners are that much better than the Arizona Cardinals. I just think Seattle and the Rams are really freaking good.
And what are Seattle and the Rams that the Cardinals and 49ers are not? Healthy.
Oh,
healthy.
Gotcha.
Everybody's healthy. All of their players are healthy. And everybody's playing elite. I know that somebody, Boye Mafe, I think, missed a game. But the 49ers haven't had a wide receiver all year. They beat the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Ricky Pearsall is practicing today.
Huh?
Ricky Pearsall is practicing today, who ate Max Melton's lunch.
I had him in like 3 fantasy leagues. It was just like, he's been practicing for a long time, Buckaroo. I promise you that.
My bad. I didn't know that.
Like,
I didn't know that.
The offense
is a sore spot right now.
Yeah, the offense is Christian McCaffrey. That's it. So, they're healthy. The Cardinals and the 49ers are not. And I'm not saying that that's the only thing. But the entirety of the defense for the 49ers, Nick Bosa, Michael Williams, everybody. Did Fred Warner get hurt this year too? Like,
Fred Warner's out.
Yes.
Yeah. Their whole team's hurt. All of their best players are hurt. And they're still in contention every week. That's a huge differentiator between them and the Cardinals, I guess.
And do the Niners? No, let me just say this. The Niners don't have what Seattle has to expose the Cardinals' biggest weakness on the line. If I'm not mistaken, Nick Bosa got hurt in that first matchup against the Cardinals. Right there. They don't have what the Seahawks have defensively to make life uncomfortable for Jacoby Brissett to the point where he's on his backside and the ball's rolling into their own end zone. Like, it feels like, for as bad as that game was on Sunday, it shouldn't be anywhere close to that this Sunday.
Well, this isn't a lopsided matchup here. I do think, like, if I'm the Cardinals, I want Brock Purdy to get on the field. I want them to start. I want them to start Brock Purdy. I think Brock Purdy has not shown me exactly that he is. I don't want to say worth what they paid him, but it's been a little up and down, inconsistent this year for Brock Purdy, and I know he's been out for a ton of time. This matchup, I think the Cardinals can actually win this game. The reason I say that is the teams that they played prior to, obviously, the Seahawks, where it was just a lopsided victory, they played better teams than the Niners. They know these guys. Like I said, it's a division matchup. And so in terms of what they do and what we do, we don't have to guess what we're going to get, right? Like, we know that they're going to line up in this formation. We know that there's going to be wrinkles. We know the defense they're going to play. The Cardinals are in a position where they can get a win this weekend. This isn't one of those games where I think that it's going to be a lopsided victory. Now, my score prediction, we'll have to wait and see.
You think there's a world that Mac Jones could be the Arizona Cardinals quarterback next year? Like, because you want to get younger, you want to get a little bit more mobile. I don't know. Just something. We can do that later. But, like,
what about Brock Purdy?
Young.
Too much money.
No,
too much money too. Too much money.
They would never trade him in conference.
Yeah, ever.
Unless it's for Kyler.
I would stick with Mac, and I would stick with Brock.
Yeah. If you don't have two, you have none at this point.
Yeah.
You need more than one. Because everybody gets hurt now. Was that always the case? Am I losing my mind that I think in the last 8 years that quarterbacks just miss time now, and that didn't happen nearly as much before? Like, maybe Peyton Manning never missed a game. Or I think he missed a season because his neck fell off.
And then
Drew Brees never missed time after his shoulder stuff.
Brady tore his ACL once.
Yep. All of these guys are guys that couldn't run. They were just standing. So their injury risk was was very low in terms of like
and they had good offensive lines.
Yeah, and they had good, and they got the ball out efficiently. So what we see now is guys scrambling, guys trying to do the Pat Mahomes, the Josh Allen, and things like. It's a miracle that Josh Allen has been healthy his whole career.
For sure.
Yeah, you know, so we just see a different style of play now, and I think that that's why we see an uptick in injuries. I don't know. The Kyler thing is a little weird. I still try to figure out how he injured his foot on that, but yeah, that's why we see injuries with the quarterback position.
Let's get to the prediction side. Who will win? What are we talking about come Monday? And let's do it next. Today's show is brought to you by FanDuel. The NBA is back, and there's no better place to get in on the action than FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Even if you missed the start of the game or want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who will score next to fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into a same game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. It keeps every game exciting, especially when your team's making that late push. So listen, the Phoenix Suns, you're talking to the host of Locked On Phoenix Suns right now. They got the Dallas Mavericks tomorrow, and the Suns look really good. In the 5 of their last 6 games, they're up at least 18 points, and they're 5-0 in those games. They're getting leads, and they're not surrendering them. They're winning those games. So, hey, maybe you put down $5 on the Phoenix Suns to beat the Dallas Mavericks tomorrow. And if you're a new customer, FanDuel's giving new customers $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. So head to FanDuel.com to sign up and play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Let's start here with Clancy, because I feel like I already know what Jamil's going to say.
You don't know. You don't know.
You don't know. You don't even know me.
Clancy, what is your score prediction for this weekend? And what do you think we're talking about on Monday? We're holding things back. You think the Kyler stands are taking another victory lap? Oh, they had Kyler. They win this game.
Oh.
Kyler was also 0-8 his last 8 starts against Seattle. So let's.
Well, that doesn't. You're providing context, Clancy. Stop with your context.
Put it in the freezer. I don't know. I think the Cardinals score a bunch of points. Like, I think they score a bunch of points. Like, I think Trey will. I'm just gonna say Trey McBride will have a career day on Sunday.
Love
2
that for my fantasy team.
10 receptions, over 120. Like
fantasy?
A vintage, ridiculous day. And then everybody else probably suffers. But like it's gonna be great. I do think the Cardinals win. I think because of how they lost last week, and Jamil, it's very sweet, but they're only close because Seattle took a nap in the second half. They just ran I get it, and they had multiple turnovers. They had the ball inside the 10 2 times and got 0 points. So it could have been super silly, but the offense couldn't execute. I think the Cardinals win. I respect Mac Jones. I respect George Kittle and Christian McCaffrey. They got to stop one dude and kind of keep an eye on a couple others. And I think DeGrasse will be able to do that.
Yeah. No, I think I'm gonna say, wait, what's your score prediction?
I don't know.
Give us a score. Put some numbers out there.
I think the Cardinals score.
Jeez.
I don't know. I think they score 27 points and they win.
Okay. That's a good little prediction.
I wasn't giving you the whole thing. I'd give you a little bit.
Okay. I agree.
Here you go. Here you go, Jimmy. I already got the score up there for you from my guy Nate Best.
Close, but not close enough. I am going to say Cardinals 24, Niners 20. I'm going to say Jacoby has a day. I think Jacoby comes out and like I said, the last few teams that the Cardinals have played, I think are better than the Niners on defense. I don't imagine a world where they give up 14 points by sack fumbles at the beginning of the game. Yeah. I think this is going to be a traditional football game in terms of possessions, things like that. And so I think we're going to see a product of, Jacoby slinging the ball around, spreading the ball to different receivers. Still don't believe that the run game is going to get going. So I think they're going to have to do it through the air. And I think the defense, why I'm picking the Cardinals this week, I think the defense will force turnovers. They've been consistent all year. This is the perfect matchup because, you got to stop the run game, obviously, and you have to have eyes on Kittle. Outside of that, I know Jawan Jennings is a threat, but I think the Cardinals are good enough to hold this team to, under 20 points. And so I think they can win this game. So I'm going to take the Cardinals 24-20. Book it.
Okay.
I think the Cardinals do a friend of the Valley, former resident of the Valley, Brock Purdy, a really big service this weekend. I think the Cardinals win 31-17 and eventually gives Brock Purdy his job back. I think they have rode the Mac Jones wave as far as it can go. I'm not even saying one is better than the other. I just think at that point you lose 2 straight games. You're like, all right, let's see what Brock Purdy can do. If the Niners were fully healthy, I do think they win this game, but they don't have the things that you need to expose the Arizona Cardinals to the degree that the Seattle Seahawks or even the Los Angeles Rams can do. I almost said St. Louis Rams. And so for that being said, I just think the Cardinals are better on paper when you talk about the talent, when you talk about the personnel. Coaching matters a ton. But after a while, man, you just lose bodies. It's like the Cardinals in 2014 when everyone says the 2015 team, they could have won the championship. I will go to the grave saying the Cardinals 2014 season, they were loaded offensively, defensively, but they just got hurt everywhere. They were down to Ryan Lindley in a playoff game. I think that's kind of where the Niners are. They're really well coached. They've got a lot of good players, but a lot of them are just injured. And at this point in the season at home, I think it's kind of crazy the Cardinals are underdogs in this game, plus 2.5. So I'll take them to win this game. And I think Brock Purdy gets his job back. And I think the Kyler Murray crowd becomes a lot more quieter yet again because they're going to score more points with Jacoby. And you can't say, well, they almost beat him last time. I'm really curious where that discourse is going to continue to go.
So we talk about that side, and that's fine. We all agree. What happens if that doesn't happen? What needs to happen for us to have the whole league? Something needs to, because we're all, I don't know. I'm in the camp that they shouldn't move off a coach because it's cosmetic and it doesn't do what the opposite of harm is. It doesn't help anything. It's like, oh, you got to do so. You got to show pride. No, you don't. Shut up. No, you don't. But what needs to happen on Sunday for us to rethink that thought process?
They get dummied. They just get
this again.
Yes.
Seattle again.
Yeah, Seattle all over again. Sloppy with the football, careless with the football, down early on, and you're playing the game of comeback. I think I think they that's where we'll have a different conversation.
What happens? Say they lose by 20 and it's not close.
I think it's even worse. I think it's even worse if let's say it's the same. Let's say they lose 31-10 and you can't even move the football then. I don't know how you don't lock Drew Petzing out of the office, Jamal Adams style after that. Because at that point, I think Jonathan Gannon's trying to save his job, because one of the things that I talked to you guys about on Sunday is Jonathan Gannon, I know, is a good head coach, but is he good enough to compete with Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay, and now Mike McDonald? And if you get ransacked again, 31-10, and it's never close, you really got to have that conversation of just he might be a fine head coach, but he's getting circles ran around him by these geniuses. We got to go find our own genius or our Josh Allen, and one of those is easier to do than the other.
Yeah, well,
I
don't think we're going to have that. I don't think we're going to have that conversation this week. I think listen, I think the Cardinals are going to play well this weekend. I don't think it is very hard to put up 2 weeks in a row like that. So you almost have to try. And it just, like I said, if they hadn't played how they played against the Colts and I don't know who else have we seen them play against in the past couple. The the Colts and Green Bay, if the product looked like that of what we saw versus Seahawks versus those two top teams, I don't want to say Green Bay's a top team. They didn't look very good last night. But if the product looked like that, I would say I don't have a lot of hope in this team, but I don't want to say hope. Hope is the wrong word. But I think they're going to have a better confidence. I think they're going to have a better showing this Sunday than what we saw this past Sunday.
Yeah, because look at what's coming up. So then they have Jacksonville. Okay, if you lose to Jacksonville, who is a dog running, searching for its tail, it's right in front of it, and it still can't catch it. That's Jacksonville next at home, and then you got the Bucs on the road. Good luck. Then you've got the Rams at home. Good luck. Then you've got the Texans on the road. Negative points scored. Then you've got the Falcons at home. Bijan Robinson and Michael Penix and Drake London. We'll see. That's probably 50-50. Then you got Joe Burrow in Cincy. And then you've got the Rams on the road where you're a whimpering puppy walking to the finish line. Like, it hasn't even gotten real yet.
Just wounded.
It hasn't even got, like, this Seattle game was the first wake up call, like, this is when the tough part of the schedule happens. It's like, yikes, man. This could be the best we're talking about this team. I know we're saying that they're all going to win, that we all said they're going to win, but yeah, I mean, this offensive line against Houston, against the Rams, twice.
Yeah, it's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be pretty.
Jesus,
Jamil better start lacing them up, man.
Jamil has nothing. No. You guys don't want Jamil out there. I'll tell you that much.
Too much lumpia, baby.
I'll tell you that much. You don't want me out there. What I do know, though, is the type of guy Jacoby is, right? He is not one of those guys that is just going to allow things to be sloppy and mediocre. And that's why I'm saying I think they're going to have a better showing this week. I think he's too what he's seen in his career, the guys that he's, sat behind and the path of his career and what he's done, he's too prideful to allow that to just happen under his watch. And so I think we're going to see a much tighter, I think Jonah Douglas. Yeah, right. Yeah, I think we're going to see a much tighter, brother. Listen, yeah. Oh, me at tackle, however many sacks they gave up versus Seattle, double it.
You want that double night? Just
double it, guys. You don't want to see me out
with
there.
Jacoby. So the other thing that, and I knock on wood because I never. Obviously, what I say, my verbiage is you never want to see anybody get injured, let alone your worst enemy, let alone someone on the team you cover, or whatever you're a fan of. If he were to get injured in week 13, depending on severity, you're looking at next season also. Protecting him is like I'm knocking as I'm saying this is a ticking time bomb situation. If he gets hit as much as he's been getting hit, I don't care how big he is. Like, he'll get up, he'll be fine. I'm sure he feels like he can't feel his body Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. But, there's got to be some sort of redemption on the right side of the line for the rest of the year because it is going to get meteorically more difficult. Seattle is the easiest opponent defensively that they're going to face when it comes to the pass rush, outside of probably Jacksonville, but even they're much improved. Mm-hmm. So I'm taking Jacksonville and Atlanta. I'm bringing them behind, but, I mean, it's on the lower rung.
Before we leave, I'm just curious. I think this stuff is interesting. I think Arizona fans show up when the team is doing well, not necessarily like some other fan bases do. That stadium this weekend, is it 80-20 Niners to Cardinals fans?
Depends on how much
there's going to be a lot. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of Niners fans there.
I mean, it might be an away game, man. Like here, how about this? Are the Cardinals on a silent count this weekend like they were against Green Bay?
I mean, it depends on if the casitas are filled. Because that's important. It's such a joke, dude. Michael Bidwell doesn't know what the hell he's doing when it comes to that. It's going to be a road game.
Has anyone went on that fan experience of flying on the plane and
you got $5,000?
Yeah, I was just about to say, no, I don't have $5,000 burning a hole in my pocket, Jamil. Not all of us were former NFL players.
I wasn't asking you guys. I was just asking, has anyone?
No, it was in Dallas. It was a full flight in Dallas.
Oh, good.
I mean, they ruined it. I told you with the Cardcitas thing, they ruined that, not calling them Cardcitas, and then not doing some sort of lottery for fans to be able to get in for $100. It's just, it's out of touch.
Out of touch, Clancy.
Listen, this is. I feel sorry for you, Clancy. Like having to deal with Michael Bidwell on an everyday basis. I only got to do it 2 times a week with you guys. I got Matt Ishbia. He's got no problem spending money on things, and so maybe
Not
Bidwell will figure that out
when it comes to
no, not the smartest. But I never have to worry about him spending money. Never.
That's true.
We got $1 hot dogs in our stadium
for 4 to 6 weeks. That's great. Another hamstring. That's great. You're trading an older injured guy for a young injured guy. It's perfect.
That's it.
Just like how we'd end up the show, talking about the owners of the Valley in Arizona. Appreciate everyone being here. Reminder, after the game on Sunday, Clancy will immediately go live. The clock will hit 000. Clancy will go live. He'll go live for about 15, 20 minutes. He will then immediately join us as we will go then for another hour, breaking down hopefully a Cardinals win against the San Francisco 49ers on Sunday. So for everyone in the chat, Sean Scott, Nate, Brian, who was actually very funny and joyful in the chat today. Love that from you, Brian. And appreciate you guys being here. And we will talk to you guys post-game against San Francisco 49ers.